And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number, what is it, Brett?
4, I think.
Is it episode 4 already?
3 or 4?
3, 4. We got the logo, one of the most awesomest logos, actually. So.
I feel like it's a little delayed. Now I'm blurry. We're both blurry.
Oh, that's just your end. But
okay, cool.
The stream is good though.
It's fine on your end.
Yeah, it's fine on my end.
Nice.
Are you ready, Brett?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
White Rice Network starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, look at that intro built by Sar.
I love it.
Look, man, you just give it a couple prompts. You give it exactly what you want. You're like, I want a male voice, dramatic, make it slightly professional, comedic, and give it to me in 10 seconds. And that's what it did. And if
I mean, I should have done that voiceover, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You could still, you want to do it?
Next time. Next time. Yeah, we'll record that.
Yeah, dude.
I don't want AI taking all of our jobs here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know how the way this works, we have about 5 or 6 articles, either videos, shorts, or articles that we could read or even see, and then we're gonna give you our 2 takes about it. So, Brett, is there anything you want to say before we get started into this?
No, I'm excited to see what we're gonna. I mean, I sent you a bunch of videos, so I'm excited to see what we're gonna dive into here.
Well,
we're gonna have lots to say.
Of course, here's the title card, and as you can see, the first.
There he is.
The man of the hour, the man of the week. Which one do you want to see first?
The next mayor of New York, right there.
Is it the harsh truth about Mamdani's housing? Let's do that.
Yeah, and then we can hit him with the comedy of his workout video.
Oh yeah. Fuck it, let's do that, bro.
Should we get into the silly economics though? The silly economic plan that he had.
I don't know about it.
The silly economic plan first, or the workout?
Oh no, let's get into the silly economic plan first. I mean, I haven't seen this video. Quite frankly, I don't even know what his economic plan is. I just know he wants
really?
to. Yeah, he wants to raise the 1% by an extra 2%, or something like that. But
yeah, free buses in the city.
Yeah.
Rent stabilized. He wants a rent freeze on all rent stabilized apartments. Just not going to have the effect that he wants it to have. He said some pretty wild things in the past. I mean, he straight up one time in an interview said that he wants to seize the means of production, which is straight out of the Communist Manifesto.
So straight up, bro.
Yeah.
Blatant, straight up plagiarism. All right, so let's go ahead and play this video.
One of Mamdani's proposals to make housing more affordable.
We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership.
What could possibly go wrong?
We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects.
It's so easy to make terrible ideas
Jeez.
sound good. The problem is it really doesn't work out like this because you think that people are a way other than they actually are. Mm-hmm. And you're giving them this incredibly valuable thing. Some percentage of people are going to be like, oh my God, this is the first valuable thing I've ever had. I'm going to protect this with my life. It's going to be incredible. But that isn't going to be the normal response. They end up being crime-ridden, terrible.
I mean, isn't this like a wannabe? Isn't this like Section 8 housing to a certain extent?
Yeah, extending that throughout the entire city. Like he has said he doesn't want private ownership of property, and he wants the city to essentially take over almost all private property. It's banana, and it's just
how does he plan to do that? Do you think people will actually go along with that?
Well, there's a Margaret Thatcher quote that says, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of the other person's money. You're not just going to be able to take and take from wealthy people and do all these things that you want to do. And also, one thing that is difficult, like for instance, if you have a rent-stabilized apartment, like my mother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
She has Section 8 people in there right now. They have not paid their share of the rent for over a year now. right?
they
They've
didn't.
been evicted now for 4 months, and she cannot get these people out of this apartment.
Unbelievable.
So my mother-in-law is a Jamaican immigrant who came here by herself
Yeah.
before her family came, worked every job under the sun. Terrible, just like worked all the time to bring her family here, right? Eventually saved up enough money to buy this multi-unit house. The problem with freezing the rent stabilized apartments is that property taxes still go up. Repairs still need to be made. Those things all cost more money over time. And when you're not allowing people to raise the rent, they can't afford to pay those things. So then what happens is developers and people in real estate just go, the hell with it. If I have to consistently come out of pocket to pay my property taxes and to pay for repairs and to pay for all the maintenance in a house and etc., and then I'm not going to do this anymore.
The
And then
level of
what happens
bureaucracy.
is that there's less housing available,
Yeah.
which makes prices go up.
Yep.
And
And,
the
the
thing with
bureaucracy
him-
just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Right. And they all do fairly well, and no one else does.
Yeah.
And the people with lots of money leave. They're
Yeah.
going to go to Florida or
And that's what I
wherever.
mean. Is like I think this is kind of sports related, but really tax related too. We're talking. I was talking about LeBron James like a couple days ago, and we were talking about his salary. He makes $128 million a year, right?
Does he?
Yeah. It's somewhere
His
along
NBA
those
salary?
lines. Yeah, somewhere along those lines. I think 100 or 100. I think I'm not sure. Is that right?
No.
Could you chat GPT that? Could
No.
you chat GPT
Yeah.
how much he
I mean,
makes a
maybe
year?
with endorsements.
Okay, but
I could possibly with endorsements, but let me see.
But-
You mean his NBA contract?
his NBA contract. How much is LeBron James? Because I was appalled about just the amount of taxes that this motherfucker.
Well, especially if you're in LA. And athletes have to pay this thing called he makes combined with his endorsements, he makes about what you said.
So
So he
let's just say 100. Let's say 128 million. Let's say round it to 120
So
million.
his
Okay.
player option for this upcoming year is $52.6 million for just his NBA
Yeah.
contract, and then with endorsements,
With endorsements, he's pushing well over 100.
about $134 million. In
Okay.
endorsements.
So yeah, I was close.
Yeah, with endorsements, yeah.
So the first I was talking, the first 600,000 gets taxed at a lower rate than anything he makes after 600 or 700,000. It gets taxed at 35%. Okay, so straight up after the federal government takes everything, that's what's 35% of $120 million.
Well, half would be 60, so would be 60 million. So 35% would be roughly. Let's see, half.
40, roughly 40.
Yes, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Roughly that's 40 million going to the federal government. On top of that, you have California state taxes, which is an additional 10 to 15%. That's another what?
I think it's 13.3 for the top bracket.
Yeah, and so what? That's an additional 20 million, right?
Oh, and then athletes on top of that, the Michael Jordan tax or whatever, right?
No, I do.
So they have
I
to
do
pay
not.
taxes in every state they play in.
Oh my God, dude!
Yeah.
And it's maddening to see people. Look, I'm not trying to defend the billionaires or the millionaires, but when you if I was in LeBron James' shoes, or if I was a typical millionaire, but well, first of all, if you're making $1.5 million in New York, you're not really making $1.5 million. You're making half of that,
Yeah, I think you're taking home. I saw someone with I think it's like you're taking home like 700,000.
Yeah,
roughly.
It's crazy, and you want more people. This guy wants more people who, again, I'm not trying to defend billionaires, but you want those people that pay the most taxes to pay more taxes. Yeah, people are gonna leave. People are gonna get pissed off.
So that thing is called what I was talking about is the jock tax. It's called where
And that's
are.
and that's every professional player.
So that's income earned in other states when playing games. So every state that you play a game in, and what we were saying, 30% or 37% for the top earners federally.
Yeah.
And then in California, you're dealing with 13.3 is the top. So in addition, so that's what now over half is well over half, and then
And then on top of that, Social Security and all this other stuff. I don't even know if they take out if every state that they play in, gets taxed.
And then on top
more.
of that, in LA or in the city of Los Angeles, there is a mansion tax.
Oh my God! There's a view tax too. I swear to
for
God.
Property sales with consideration of over 5.15 million, an additional 4%. And then if your property is worth 10,300,000 or greater, it's an additional 5.5%. So if he has a $500,000 home, which in LA, if I don't know where he lives, but I wouldn't be surprised if his house is definitely worth more than 10.5 million, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So then he's also getting taxed 5.5% in addition to the 13.3 California tax, in addition to the jock tax, and then 37% of the federal taxes. Yeah.
Again, how much?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I was gonna say, like, how much could you tax a person, a billionaire, millionaire, before they're like, "Fuck this, I've had enough"? Like, what's the number?
Well, I would not be happy with over half of my money going to the government.
That's maddening.
And it's like the thing of it is that you have like what Mamdani does, and it makes sense, right? Most of the people in New York are not very successful. Like, so you have a lot of young Gen Z and millennial kids who have student loans and have been duped. And they're not fans of capitalism. Like, a lot of them are straight up like socialists and communists. Like, that's what they believe. That's what I mean. When I lived in New York and I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, I was essentially like a socialist.
I think we all were.
Right, and it's a great idea until you actually realize, like, oh, I actually have to provide some definable value to society.
Well, until
to be
you grow up.
wealthy.
Until you grow up, because. Yes, I was exactly in the same shoes, when I was like 21, I was a big like Bernie supporter. I was like, "Oh guys, let's everybody get in a community. Let's all love each other, and then you get older.
Well, and
like,
then also when you find out where your tax money actually goes, then
maddening.
You're not so thrilled about it.
Yeah.
Like here in LA, here in California, we have every issue is dealt with non-for-profit companies, and those non-for-profit companies have administrators making 6 and 7 figures to run these non-for-profits.
Yeah.
And they don't fix the problems.
They don't.
For instance, the homelessness.
And the money goes dark, Brett. The money goes dark.
The homelessness situation.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It just goes dark.
No. And then it's like when you bring up these issues, people go, "Oh, you hate homeless people. You want homeless people to just be thrown in jail?" And it's like, no, I would like the problem to actually be fixed. But your solution is to just continue to hand over obscene amounts of money to the government, that goes to non-for-profits, and those non-for-profits are connected to people in the government always.
Yeah.
And then instead of fixing the problem, we'll just call them unhoused, and then you have to have a better attitude about people being on the street. Like it's their natural habitat or something, where we can't disturb them and upset them, and this is where they want to be. And it's like, no, that's not a solution. That's a really bad. That's actually quite inhumane. Where we're just going to give our money over to people who work for the government and then not fix the problem. So that's like a major issue. And
well, it just seems like more and more people, especially on the left, just wants government to fix everything, and it used to be the other way around.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? Like Republicans used to be that way?
No. It used to be like, like they didn't like the government. They didn't like all this, and all of a sudden it's like, after COVID, it's like, let the government fix everything. Let's just toss money into the situation.
Their solution is always, we just need to get the right people into office. And it's like, well, the people who get into office are people who want to purge the fucking government for money.
Yeah.
And who want more power. It's not like, Mother Teresa isn't fucking running for Congress.
Yeah.
And it's obscene. Like,
I mean, how would you? You've lived in LA. How would you? And there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. But technically, how would? Because I've got a couple ways I think that could help fix the homeless situation. But what about you, Brett Davenport? top 3 things to fix the homeless?
Well, these non-for-profit companies that are tasked with fixing the homeless situation, that has to go.
Yeah,
It should be
that's mine.
government. It should just be a government agency dealing with it, and there should be
Complete
more mental
transparency.
health, complete transparency, and more mental health and drug rehab centers.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. And also, I think the thing with homelessness, the number one thing with homelessness is prevention. Like, you have to stop people from getting to that point, because once, I mean, you see some homeless people, it's like
A lot.
once the severe drug addiction kicks in, and once like the malnutrition comes in and has been there for a long time, and the mind gets past the point of redemption, then there's not much that can be done. That person now is just not really going to be able to acclimate back into society. Whereas if you have programs in place to prevent that from happening, then you can kind of save people. I think another thing is, like, there does need to be more affordable housing, but not through rent freezes. You know what I mean? There needs to be, like, I guess Section 8 is an option.
Have you ever been in an area with a lot of Section 8 housing?
Yeah, it's generally not very nice.
Yeah.
A lot of crime and
A lot of crime.
stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I guess that was that guy Tom Bilyeu's point. That's what generally happens with these ideas of socialized housing. I don't know. I also think that, like, we have a generation now of people who really think that, like, communism just needs to be given another shot. You know?
I hate those people. They have literally no idea.
What would you do about homelessness?
Well, I completely agree with everything that you said. I love the getting away the non-profits. I love the transparency. Make it a government issue. I wouldn't mind paying some taxes to go into there as long as it's completely transparent. I've been seeing these videos about these random people just giving like portable showers, and having a person clean themselves does a lot to their mental psyche. And if there's some way that we could just just clean up the hygiene of the unhoused, it could just do a whole lot of things. It just takes a simple...
I mean, and there should be no food shortages. So much food gets wasted in this country.
God.
You know, if you've ever worked in a restaurant or anything like that, there's enormous food waste.
Oh yeah.
And the notion that people don't have food is absurd.
That's crazy.
For a country to have an obesity problem and a hunger problem at the same time is pretty ludicrous.
Yeah.
The thing that is with Mamdani, it's like, or anybody like that, it's like the ideas in theory are nice, you know, but you're not taking into account real actual human nature, right? And then you're depending, like, one thing he said is, like, he's talked to people, like, they've asked, like, oh, you know, the billionaires in New York City, where all this tax revenue is going to come from, what would you say to them? And he says, well, my vision is one in which they stay, and they stay because we're going to convince them that their quality of life would improve.
Yeah,
and it's
I heard that.
How
clip.
does your quality of life improve when, you know, an additional God knows how much money is going out of your pocket to someone, to a government agency that doesn't do things well?
Yeah, they're gonna be more safe. He guarantees more police on the streets, more clean streets. Or I take that back. Not police.
He actually originally, he wants, like, social workers or something.
Yeah.
Which also, again, I don't think is a bad idea.
I'm not against that.
I think there should be a division of the police department that is, like, social workers. And when you have, like, certain calls, like, where it's someone, you know, you hear about, like, a kid, you know, or an adult man is, like, living at home because they have severe mental health issues, and the police come and they don't really know how to take care of the situation, so they end up shooting that person, and really, like, the mother or the people in the family just wanted the situation to be de-escalated without violence or whatever. I think in that case you need to have, like, a division where police are like, a social worker is there with a cop. So if things do get out of hand, yes, a cop can physically detain someone or whatever. But a social worker is there who's trained to deal with those situations. And I think there should be a division of the police force that is, like, essentially social workers or psychologists or whatever, or therapists.
I
you
mean,
know,
the cops
that
are also
go on those
there.
guys.
I mean, the cops are also trained to de-escalate, but you know,
Yeah,
but also
I think it's really tough to have someone who I think it's a rare person who is of the minds who has the dual minds to be able to like be part therapist, talking someone off a ledge, part
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
law enforcer.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true. That's true.
I think that's tough to find that
If
a
anything,
lot of people like that.
I want our cops to escalate the situation depending depending on
Well,
the
I'm just
situation.
Yeah, sometimes it's necessary.
Let's take a look at this Mamdani clip that you kind of showed.
Did you watch this?
I did. I did.
Okay, let's have a look.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Hold on. Oh my god.
How you move up in the pole? Yeah! This is how you move up in the poles. Yeah! Yeah! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! Yeah! Let me get one more. Let me get three. Let me get three. Let me get three. Yeah! Yeah! This is how you move up in the.
Boy. That's what a life of privilege will get you.
Oh my god. Well,
That's the thing. I mean,
you know what?
this guy.
This is communism at its best. You know.
Yeah.
The guy just doing
the
everything
guy who's
for
actually
him.
strong has to do it for you.
Yep. Yep. If there's not a symbolic kind of like anecdotal way of looking at it,
Yeah.
it's so right.
Well, I mean, here's the truth. This guy has no grit. He's never struggled in his life. He comes from a wealthy family. His mother is a successful filmmaker. His dad is a Columbia professor.
Yeah.
And this is what you get.
You know what?
Like,
Go ahead.
I don't think your politicians should have to lift things, you know?
Yeah.
But it'd be nice.
Look,
if
man.
they could- what is
if
that?
there-
Is
if
that
there's-
is that 115? Is that 235s? That's not even 140. 135.
Oh, I thought those
is
were
it?
quarters, bro. It looked like quarters. Are those quarters? Those 25s.
They're either quarters or they're 35s. But I don't
Yeah,
think
no way,
they're 45s,
no
are they?
way, no way is that 45, bro. I've
So
been.
at most, right there, he struggled to pick up 115 pounds off his
Oh,
chest.
Jesus. Horrendous form
Which
too.
is-
It's like.
I mean, he's never that Jack dude is curling, whatever that is, essentially, or
Yeah,
rowing,
100%,
whatever
dude.
that is, 115 pounds. It's just
You know,
why
you-
do that? You know you can't bench anything.
Well, you know what it is. He's like I saw an article
A fraud.
and it fits exactly. He's like, do you remember? I don't know if you were here in L.A., but Antonio Vergosa. I think he's running to be mayor. Do you remember? Have you ever watched clips of Antonio Vergosa when he was the mayor here?
No.
He was everywhere, always smiling. Always, if you put a camera, he went everywhere where the cameras were. If there was like a wedding of, he would be there. He would be everywhere. And Mamdani reminds me of him because he has that smile, and he's just there. He's there doing the typical, and he's good at it. He's good being at the places where the cameras are at.
He is good at it.
So I can't.
He's
really-
good at it, and that constant like smiling. I don't know why people can't see through that. It's like what psychopaths do.
Yeah.
To disarm people. Like
Yeah.
nobody smiles that much naturally. Like he's clearly up to
I would
something.
have
but
questions.
The way
I
I
would have-
see it is like, well, I think if you spent real time with him, you would find that he's not at all the person he's portraying himself to be. Like
Yeah.
I think he's kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like I think his intentions are a lot worse than
yeah.
I think he comes from that that like Marxist kind of ideology that is incredibly destructive and underneath it very hateful towards
Yeah.
people who have success or white people or anybody who's perceived to be in like a higher class. There's a lot of anger and disdain, and the truth is I think he's covering up how he really feels and what he really thinks, because if you go back to like his videos, like that video that we showed when he's like his hair is flat and he's not like in a suit when he's not running for office, he says some real wild shit back then. And that's when and that same thing is when he straight up says we need to move towards seizing the means of production, which
That's
is
crazy.
communism.
Yeah.
Like, and when people are like, "Oh, he's a democratic socialist," it's like you said the mission statement of communism from the Communist Handbook. Like, how can you like confuse that?
And I
then
don't know,
the claim is like he doesn't have those positions anymore. But I think he's just telling people what they want to hear for now.
Yeah. He also didn't denounce Hamas, even though he said that I've been denouncing them. I mean, the last debate, I just took a look at the highlights. I mean, just say it. Just denounce Hamas, you know?
Well,
But
I think the truth is that that's just not how he really feels, though.
yeah, yeah.
And he has to kind of skirt around things and put on that smile and, like, I don't know, like I live with a guy who went to Columbia University, and he was very much into all this kind of ideology, you know. He was very into the oppressed kind of ideology, and he got obscene amounts of money from the government to study fucking poetry. How are you oppressed? How are any of you at Columbia University oppressed? Like,
It's maddening. It's so
you're
hypocritical.
in the top 1% of 1% of 1% of privilege. You go to an institution that costs an institution of higher learning, of homogenized thinking. You all come out thinking the same things.
Yeah.
And it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the government subsidies all of it for you, in his case. So you pay nothing to study poetry and to write poetry.
Exactly.
And you're oppressed?
Under our dime, by the way.
It's just, it's very bizarre. It's like, you know, I just know people who have like these government jobs, or like I know a girl who works up in Canada and makes maps and seems to think that, you know, she's like, well, Canada pays so much money for people doing this. And it's like, yeah, because in Canada, the only people that can make money really are government workers and bankers.
Exactly. There's no
Because
innovation.
everyone else is taxed out the ass.
And there's no innovation coming from Canada.
There's
by
no
the way.
innovation.
Yeah.
None. And
None.
also, Canada doesn't have to worry about self-defense because we cover all that.
They got maple syrup.
Canada doesn't. Right. Yeah. Canada and hockey.
And hockey, yeah. Good
Yeah,
exports.
Canada doesn't have to worry about like global affairs because we cover that for them.
Yeah.
We
It's just
cover their
maddening.
defense.
I mean, I work with people who complain all the time, every second, about like capitalism. Yet right after they complain it, they get out their iPhone, and I'm like, they're working for a
Right.
company that's the same company I'm working for. That, you know, if you don't like capitalism, why are you working for the company that exploits capitalism? You know? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the iPhone is a huge thing. I mean, like, we're all engaging in child labor,
Oh, 100%.
essentially slave labor.
Oh, the
And
cobalt.
then what the cobalt mining.
Yep.
I mean, people get killed for that. Like, people die in those cobalt mines all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I find all this stuff irritating. But, you know, it's emotionally satisfying for them, and it gives them a purpose in life, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And they have time to protest.
Yeah.
They have all this time to protest, you know?
It's working, too. The No King protest is working because we still don't have a king.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it must be doing
By the
something.
way, I want to get to the next story, but between,
we can move
I
on.
mean, how good of a chance does Cuomo actually have, or
None.
Mamdani does actually have?
Mamdani's going to win.
Mamdani's gonna win, hands down.
I mean, I think the betting sites have him at like 90% right now.
Shit, New York's in trouble, bro.
The only thing that could happen is, you know, there's that guardian angel guy, Curtis Siwa, the Republican.
Yeah,
He's also in the race.
yeah.
He would have to drop out for Cuomo to have any chance. I mean, Adams had, because it was a four-way race with Eric Adams, Curtis Siwa, Cuomo, and
But I
Mamdani.
think that's what
Adams
Cuomo
dropped out.
wants. I think.
What, for Siwa to drop out?
Exactly.
For sure. That's his
Because-
only chance.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even then, it's like, even if it was one-on-one, I think Cuomo would still have a hard time winning.
Well, let's leave it. Let's go to the next article, buddy. And of course, we want to talk about this Saudi comedy festival that happened. Saudi, was it Riyadh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go take a look at this clip real quick.
Shane Gillis and Zach Woods are slamming this comedy festival in Saudi Arabia that a bunch of their fellow stand-ups are participating in, and we should talk about it. Because it's called the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It kicked off on Friday. It lasts through October 9th, and it has a massive lineup. You've got Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Whitney Cummings, Andrew Schultz, and Flagrant, Kevin Hart, Tom Segura, and the list just goes on and on. And, you know, some have already gone on stage, some they still have sets upcoming, but they're all facing some backlash right now. Because Saudi Arabia, as you hopefully know, for quite a while, trial has been criticized for its human rights abuses, like arresting journalists, exploited labor, executions for crimes like drug offenses, and way more. Like, it's literally about to be the anniversary of when Mohammed Bonesaw is believed to have killed Jamal Khashoggi. And in fact, just earlier this year, the nation's top court there executed a journalist who had been behind bars for over 7 years. And so with all this, last week you had Human Rights Watch issuing a statement arguing that the Saudi government is using the festival, quote, to deflect attention from its brutal repression of free speech and other pervasive human rights violations. And you had them then urging the performers to use their time at the festival to urge Saudi leaders to free unjustly detained journalists and activists so they're not laundering the government's reputation. Right, but also, it's not just activists and nonprofits who are slamming comedians. I mean, you have tons of other comedians also speaking out. Right? You recently had comedian Mark Maron speaking on this.
I mean, the same guy that's going to pay them is the same guy that paid that guy to bonesaw Jamal Khashoggi and put him in a fucking suitcase. But don't let that stop the yucks. It's going to be a good time. Full disclosure, I was not asked to perform
Well, there you go.
at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, so
I mean,
it's kinda
Mark
easy
Maron
for
would have
me
been
to
over
take
there in 2 seconds if he was asked.
Of course. Money talks.
the
Mark
high
Maron
road
is
on
one
this
of my
one.
least favorite people on the planet, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't listened to his podcast in years, so.
He's a bitch.
Actually, this whole thing goes back
He
to
really
July
is.
when you had comedian Shane Gillis saying he was offered the chance to perform in Saudi Arabia, but
I think I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops. It's for the Saudis.
For the Saudi princes?
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
That was the 9/11 guys.
and then Gillis later said
Yeah?
that organizers doubled his
Which is pretty
payoff,
wild
but
that Pete Davidson is particularly wild. Like, his dad was killed and he was a fireman. Got killed, at the tower.
Doesn't he talk in this video about that?
I don't know. I didn't see the whole video.
he refused this
Well, let's see.
significant amount of money so he could take a principled stand. Also, as far as like how much people were actually making for this, you had comedian Tim Dillon previously saying that he was going to do the fest because he was going to get $375,000 for doing one show. Right? And he also claimed that some performers were offered as much as $1.6 million. But then Saudi Arabia apparently fired him from the gig over
Yeah, they didn't like that.
labor. in the
Yeah.
country. You know, as all of this is playing out, we've seen some of the performers from the lineup defending their choice to go. Pete Davidson recently went on Theo Von's podcast and he said,
I've been getting a little bit of flack just because like my dad died 9/11, so they're like, how could you possibly go there? I just, I get the routing and then I see the number and I go, I'll go.
right, and so with all this, it's not
See? Again, like what I said before, money talks.
Well, at least Pete Davidson's being honest. I mean,
Yeah.
did you hear Bill Burr's desperate flailing attempt to
No.
justify?
What was he
Oh my
saying?
god, dude! Oh my god. He literally was like, he's like basically trying to be like, he's like, where are you gonna go where everything's peaceful? What are you gonna go to Iceland? He's like, and then even in Iceland, there's in Iceland there's what do you say? He's like, in Iceland there's incest, and he did this like forum thing with Conan O'Brien moderating and asking questions, and he's just like, can a bunch of people are mad who can't even point out Saudi Arabia on a map. It's like, dude, I cannot stand. He's someone that like I hear him talk and it grating on the nerves.
Yeah.
Sounds like nails on a chalkboard. I can't stand his voice. I can't stand his whole demeanor. And the problem with him is like when you spend so much time elevating yourself over your peers because you're so socially conscious and enlightened, as he always claims to be, about social issues and politics and all this kind of stuff, and then you go and do that, it's like, oh well, you're a hypocritical piece of shit, and it's fine. Just shut up. Stop. Don't lecture people about racism anymore, or just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And that's my thing. I don't care. I don't care if you do the festival. Just own up to it.
Exactly. I mean, Andrew Schultz owned up to it. Like, Tim Dillon was owning up to it a bit too much, and that's why he got fired. But like the ones who are like, oh, it's like we're opening the door for more progressive policies. It's like, no, you're not.
God.
You're taking a lot of money. Which, if you and I were, if I was offered that money,
I would do it for $200.
Well, yeah. I was thinking like a month's rent.
Oh, 100%, dude. I'd do it for a month's rent and some utilities. You know what I mean?
I'd be like, hey man, do you want to share an Uber to LAX? We got a layover in Detroit, and then we're
do you also
want to
share? Do you also want to share an Uber in Riyadh too?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't. Just like, you know how the Live Golf. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone was all upset about that, and I'm just like, doesn't our government like guarantee defense for and protection for Saudi Arabia for oil? Don't we have a treaty for that? And it's like, you're going to get upset with golfers for taking some more money to go play some stupid golf tour. They get guaranteed contracts of $300 million.
Stupid money.
And right, but the government that we are currently in, like pays and guarantees Saudi Arabia's like military defense in exchange for oil deals. So, and we've had that arrangement with them since like the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. Don't you feel like people like use moral outrage as a way to position themselves above other people?
Yeah, 100%.
And my thing is like, I am not morally superior to anyone. If I were to get on, if our podcast just became about you and me, like berating people for not being socially conscious enough, and then we went and did that, we'd be raging hypocrites.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We make fun of people who do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the issue I have with it, is that you're such an annoying hypocrite. And in Bill Burr's case, it's like you've just become so bitter and irritating and for lack of a better term, woke. And it's annoying. And you suck now. And then you go and do this. And then you still want to maintain this sense of moral superiority over everyone. And it's like, no, that's gone now.
Yeah.
It was annoying before. Now you have no claim to that.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I even listened to any of his stuff. I forgot the last thing that he said that just really just pissed me off. Actually, the last thing I remember actually hearing was just one joke of his, which I find pretty funny. It's just that abortion joke about cooking coffee cake in the oven. You've heard that joke before, right?
I don't think so.
No, he's
cooking a coffee cake.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's like, oh well, I'm cooking a coffee cake. It's something like not yet a coffee cake, but it will be a coffee cake after it's done. Something like that. It's like a famous clip. Yeah. So that was just the last clip I even found funny of his, and I don't even if I see a Bill Burr thing pop into my feed, I just skip it. Like I don't.
Yeah, he's kind of a bummer now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, when he was like basically saying that insurance guy, it was okay that Luigi shot him in the back because he denies people's insurance claims. You don't remember that?
No.
When that Luigi Mangione guy shot that CEO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Duh.
He was all about it. He thought it was
huge.
great. He's like, yeah, this guy, he denies people's claims, and it's like, don't they think it's coming? And it's like, all right, well, how about should we just go around shooting people with money? Is that where? And it's like, what's your net worth? Like $30 million?
Yeah, and all the news organizations were playing that clip, so he loved the attention too. He's like, look at me, I'm a prophet now.
That's what was driving me nuts, was people being like, oh, this is the modern day George Carlin. It's like,
oh my God,
George Carlin's IQ is probably a solid 50 points higher than Bill Burr's. Bill Burr is a moron who is just who does these like enraged kind of rants that sometimes have like this stream of consciousness that make this funny point sort of sometimes. But I don't know, he's always had like alcoholic stepdad that might beat you at any moment energy to me.
Yeah.
And I've never really been a huge fan.
All right, well, let's get into this next article. I think you might enjoy this one. Hold on, let me copy this clip real quick. My God, what's going on? There you go. Stupid commercials. Hold on.
We got a commercial.
Every time I watch commercials, I'm like, I think I want to get YouTube Premium because it's just brutal to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I heard someone refer to commercial or ads now as a poor person's tax.
That's so true, though. So true. All right.
Because really, in all honesty, we would all pay to not see these god-awful commercials.
Oh, God. What I would pay.
Geico commercials are cool.
Brett, I know the last time you've ever seen sumo wrestling.
It's been a minute.
I don't know how you feel about sumo wrestlers. They made a showing.
I've got nothing against them.
They made a showing in London.
Across London this week, they are impossible to miss. About 40 elite sumo wrestlers, known as rikishi, some tipping the scales at more than 500 pounds, have come to town with great fanfare. Spotted crossing Abbey Road, riding e-bikes, strolling with another Japanese superstar, Hello Kitty, taking in the city sights and greeting very, very eager fans.
I can't wait to go. We're so excited. Yeah. It's been really exciting seeing them over here and being like, that's so close to
Dude, I don't know if you've ever watched sumo, but one of my workers I used to work with, all she would do is during her breaks is watch sumo wrestling in the back room. Yeah. And I was never into sumo wrestling, and then I just watched like a couple matches. I actually watched it every time she watched it. I was like, oh, what are you watching? And it's fucking, it is so serious. It's like, first off, it's a religion in Japan, and it's actually like it's as big in Japan as soccer is in India and in other parts of the world, but it is super
college football
serious.
is in the South.
Yeah. It's really like personality, their backstory is actually pretty freaking interesting, man.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar. I mean, my only familiarity with sumo wrestling is through the former WWE wrestler Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Who was actually not a sumo wrestler and wasn't even Japanese, actually. He was Samoan, but...
Have you watched videos of like professional NFL linebackers trying to push back sumo wrestlers?
I have seen, and they just get smoked.
They just like, they can't be moved.
No.
You know, it's like their base is just so strong and just so fixed to the ground that it's like impossible to move them.
Well, if you weigh over 500 pounds, like...
My goodness. You know...
You're not going anywhere.
You know what I was thinking about when I kind of watched like this news segment was people that own the buffets. Could you imagine? Because...
Gonna make out like gangbusters.
You're talking about even 2-3 sumo wrestlers will totally kill that buffet, bro.
Yeah, I mean... It is impressive to be that big and that agile.
Yeah,
I mean, they could play offensive line in the NFL.
See that it's a different muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think they could. You're talking about a person that pushes people out the way for a living. I think they would make a great offensive. I would think so.
I would think they could do it.
You know, just I don't know. That would actually be a great thing. I've never seen that.
How long does a sumo match go for? Like a typical sumo match?
Oh, fuck, I forgot. But it's crazy because it's just, if I'm not mistaken, it's just one match. If I'm not mistaken.
Like one round?
One round, if I'm not mistaken. So all the build-up.
I don't have the foggiest idea.
Happens and it's just one round. One mistake, that's it. The most anticipated thing between two sumo wrestlers, and it just takes one mistake and that's it. Which is fucking crazy to me.
Do you have a clip of a match?
I could.
Or is it just them coming to London?
I could definitely pull one up.
So what the story here is that they've never been to London before? They've never done sumo in London?
Actually, people in London never seen sumo wrestlers actually go to London. Sumo wrestling in Japan. Is it rules? Let's do. Do you want to watch?
Do we have time to talk about another? Well, do we have time? Maybe we should segue into another Japanese star.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%.
Do you have a Shohei video?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that because that's pretty amazing, dude.
That's something I have a lot more knowledge of.
When was the game? Was it Friday? It was Friday, right? Hold on,
Friday. Yeah, it was either Friday or Saturday. Friday. Or was it Thursday? Yeah.
I think it was Friday.
No, it was Friday. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the article, and I'm just gonna read it. Ohtani's epic night sends Dodgers to the World Series. In a nutshell, this article basically says he's probably one of the greatest of all time. 3 home runs,
I
6
would say
scoreless innings. Unbelievable. I mean, even you, Brett,
and he only
as
gave
a
up one
diehard,
hit, right?
I don't know. I think just one hit. I think a couple hits. But you, as a
and
Yankees fan, you gotta
strikeouts?
appreciate that. Yeah, he I think 11. I think he had 11 strikeouts.
I give 11 strikeouts. I give it up to him with no. I mean, you can't you can't deny outright greatness. I mean, he's. I would say he's the best baseball player of all time because I don't think Babe Ruth pitched that long.
No,
I don't think Babe Ruth pitched for most of his career.
Yeah,
and Babe Ruth also only played against white dudes.
Yeah,
you know
that's so true.
He didn't play against any Dominicans or Asians or black guys.
What's his height?
Yeah.
What's Ohtani's height?
Shohei? I think he's like 6'5". He's a big dude. Let's see.
Dude, he's fucking a behemoth, bro. And it's just so crazy, cause the Angels drafted him in what year? What year did the Angels draft him?
I think this is his 6th year in the league, right?
So how come he wasn't doing this kind of damage in the Angels?
I think he was 6'3", 210.
6'3", 210. Damn, that's still below average height for the NBA.
Yeah, he would be a point guard in the NBA.
He would be, yeah.
No, he was putting up numbers with the Angels.
I know, but it seems like he's getting more traction now as a Dodger than he ever was when he was just an Angel.
Well, I mean, even though the Angels
team.
2018 was his first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he hit, in 2021 with the Angels, he had 23 starts, went 9-2 with a 3.18 ERA, 156 strikeouts. Offensively, he hit 46 home runs, 100 RBIs, 103 runs scored, and 26
I take it back
bases.
then. God damn, he did some damage. He did a little damage.
In 2022, he had a 2.33 ERA, 15-9 record, 219 strikeouts in 166 innings, hit 273, 34 home runs, 95 RBIs in 157 games. He did not pitch in 2023. He hit 304, 44 home runs, and 95 RBIs. So those are like solid numbers.
Yeah.
And then the other crazy thing about him is that he steals bases and bats leadoff.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
And knows how to steal some bases.
He had over 50 stolen bases this year.
Yeah.
Which Babe Ruth never did that. Babe Ruth probably had
he was a little too
stolen
fat.
bases his whole career. He was a fat, bastard. Crazy thing about Babe Ruth, though.
What?
I think multiple times. I know at least 1 year. I think it happened multiple times. He hit more home runs than every team in the American League combined.
Wow.
And I mean, he did play in a dead ball era with way less technology. Again, he didn't play against. There were no other people in the league besides white guys. Those Asians can really play some baseball. The Dominicans.
The Japanese. Japanese know how to pitch, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Who's the Japanese pitcher?
Beats me, bro.
Who's also really good. What's his name? Yamashita?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yamasoto or something like that.
But yeah, I think he's the greatest baseball player of all time, I would say.
I would agree. And the thing is, baseball, I'm not even the biggest MLB fan. MLB is the only time I watch it is during the pro season. Is during the playoffs.
The playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, baseball, I took my wife to her first baseball game, which is crazy because she only lives 25 minutes from Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Or she grew up 25 minutes from Yankee Stadium, but she'd never been to a Yankee game. It's fun to go in person, but to watch games regularly, regular season games on
Especially
TV.
on the TV. Yeah.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah. It's not like
but
it's not like the
postseason baseball's
NBA.
great.
Yes.
I was in an airport last week in Salt Lake City, and I was watching the Mariners, whoever they beat in the divisional round. Mariners, who did they beat?
I don't even know.
I don't remember. But it was fun watching that in a bar, and the postseason energy, the crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
But 162 games. It's hard to keep that energy up. Yeah.
It's not like the NBA. I could watch the NBA game in the preseason all game long. You know what I mean? All day long. That's just me because I just love the sport. Me personally.
Yeah, but modern day NBA. I mean, they don't really.
Yeah.
They don't really play defense most of the time. Shoot a bunch
true.
of threes. I mean, would you agree that 90s basketball was more entertaining than today's?
Would I agree? I would completely 100% agree. It's not even a question. And I still have arguments with guys oh no, it's just a different era today. LeBron is better than Jordan. I'm like, I can't talk to these people, and I just straight leave.
The thing about offensively with Jordan and LeBron is Jordan used to get leveled coming to the basket.
Jordan rules, baby.
The Pistons.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen in the NBA now. I'll see sometimes guys will drive to the basket, and I'm like, no resistance at all. Just letting guys take it to the hole.
Yeah.
No stopping them. Chalking up 35-foot threes left and right.
That's the one thing about pickleball today is everybody's shooting. Everybody that has no business shooting is shooting.
Yeah.
and
It's like you're not Steph Curry, man.
Yeah, 20 feet from where they should be shooting, but they're shooting from all the way, and has the most ugliest shot form. I mean, I'm to talk. I shoot off one leg, but at least my form is good.
What is with your with your shot there?
Well,
where'd you pick that up?
I tore my rotator cuff a couple years ago, and I couldn't shoot a ball. The only way I could get it up to the basket was have a running momentum.
Yeah.
And I just
so you always shoot a runner.
No, this was before I injured. Before I injured my rotator cuff, I had a typical jump shot.
So like when you were like in your heyday, right?
It was a typical Steph Curry set shooter.
When you dropped 62 against was it Glendale?
58. Let's
58. Yeah. Okay. 58. That's impressive. My career high was 20. So. So.
I was shooting normal.
What was your game? What was your game like then, though? What was your style of play?
Basically Derrick Rose / AI straight. So shoot first, pass second mentality. Going.
But like,
off.
would you be like if you were so you were always driving to the basket? You weren't like getting kicked out to shoot threes.
I was just making up.
Okay.
I had to like create my own shots.
So when you dropped 58,
you know what? I take that back. I was going off of screens a lot too. There was a lot of plays for me specifically for me to go off screens. So double.
So when you dropped 58, were you? How many? Did you hit any threes?
I had 7 threes, or seven or 8 threes.
Okay.
Yeah, the basket looked like this.
20. Yeah, it was just one of those nights.
It was. It was an amazing night. Legendary.
So if you hit 7 threes, that's 21 points. So you still had another 37 points. What was that? A lot of like driving to the lane and ones.
A lot of free throws too.
Line.
A lot of free throws. Same game. We lost, but I choked. I choked some free throws. I was just so fucking tired, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievably tired.
Couldn't quite close it out though. Huh?
No, man. Couldn't.
You dropped 58 and your team lost?
Yeah. And there was another guy named another Armenian kid by the name of Gilbert Yusufian on the same game that scored 38 or 40 points. So
on your team?
No, on the other team.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like two guys dropped close to 100 points and you lost.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other team had a guy who dropped like 30 something.
Yeah, and it was great because it was our crosstown rival, so it was just like an unbelievable moment that'll forever be enshrined in my memory. Got so much pussy after that game.
Where'd you go to high school?
Hoover High School, man, in the rough and tough streets of Glendale, California.
And then, so who was that against?
I was against Glendale.
Oh, so Hoover,
Hoover versus Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah, crosstown rival. So it was.
So how many high schools are in Glendale? Hoover and Glendale. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Wow, that's impressive. You ever see Married with Children?
Do I? I watch clips every day.
Because how Ted Bundy has that story.
That's
about
me,
how
dude.
He scored.
That's so me. 58 points.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
All right, one more. Oh, go ahead.
I have a solution to a lot of the problems we were talking about earlier that I completely forgot about.
About what?
Homelessness and stuff.
Oh, go ahead.
This is actually not my idea. It's a guy who ran for governor in New York in maybe 2018.
Okay.
I think his name was not Larry Elder. Maybe it was Larry Elder.
Larry Elder.
Wait, is Larry Elder someone else?
Larry Elder, yeah. He's the black conservative radio host in California.
Okay, so I'm thinking of maybe his name's Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison is a multi-billionaire that owns Oracle.
So that's not the name. I'll come up with it
Larry
in a
Ellison
little
is
bit.
like one of
so,
the... Go ahead.
That's right. And now his son is like running, or is trying to buy Paramount or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So this guy had this idea. He ran for governor in New York, and essentially, like a bridge, for instance, would be sponsored by a major corporation. So instead of like the George Washington Bridge or you keep the name George Washington or whatever. But it would be like the George Washington Bridge presented by MasterCard or presented by Apple or Verizon or whatever, you know? And then that corporation would get the advertising on the bridge, but would be responsible for the maintenance of the bridge.
Okay. What's in it for the company?
So you wouldn't be using tax. Yeah. So things would be more advertised and more corporatized in a way, but those corporations would then be responsible for things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think since we already have a corporatized society and corporations aren't going anywhere, you would have programs sponsored by corporations. And then those corporations could use that goodwill as essentially like an advertisement. It's like, it'd be like, you know, Verizon, or Verizon's not like a major company now. What are the major companies? It's like Apple.
Apple, Walmart, Amazon.
Like Amazon, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, what if Amazon, you had a series of homeless shelters and drug rehabilitation facilities brought to you by Amazon, with Amazon logos, Amazon advertising, you know?
Yeah.
And then you would,
that would
those
just look
companies
weird.
it would look weird. There'd be
That would look
advertisements
really
everywhere.
weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I do
But
understand.
They have the money and they could take care of those situations.
Exactly.
And then
But then just to.
it would be tacky.
It would be, and there'll always be something in the back of it. They're profiting from this somehow.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to give them, you know, tax incentives and things like that.
Exactly. But they're fixing a problem. That's why.
Right.
I kind of like the idea, but I know, man. I think it'd be open to a lot of corruption, man. Like everything else.
But then, at least, is what you could do, Larry Sharp, is what you could do, though, and is what they should do for the not-for-profits, is like, you have markers that you have to meet, meaning, like, crime, or like homelessness needs to be down by this much. This bridge cannot go into disrepair. This highway, right, instead of tolls, you know,
Yeah.
it's what's a toll highway in California?
I don't even know. I accidentally took one. I got billed $10, but
But you know what I mean? It would be like this highway brought to you by Amazon, brought to you by Apple.
I'd be for that.
But yeah, you'd see advertisements everywhere, logos and shit. Might not be the most tasteful thing, but
You think? All right, last article. Should we? I don't know if you could see who's under there. That's Kim Kardashian. Okay.
that probably would have been one of my first guesses.
All right, here you go.
Kim Kardashian is turning heads in her latest look. On October 18th, the Kardashian star steps out at the 2025 Academy Museum Gala, where she looks almost unrecognizable.
Anything that has the word gala, you get shit like this. Like very experimental shit. You know, they wear the most obscene things.
As she dons a
Like
new
the Met
lacy-
Gala is one of the lowest forms of human activity ever.
Isn't that where AOC wore that freaking...
Yeah.
It's so...
Eat the rich.
Yeah. It's such an elitist, most hypocritical thing.
It's so revolting.
Yeah.
Margiela gown and matching face mask. And at the event, Kim shared with Variety that she actually had full glam on underneath the headpiece, saying, "You know I love Margiela."
Sorry to subject you to this, Brett. I just want to let you know we could both watch how obscene and maddening these galas are. Quite frankly,
Did you see when Jim Carrey showed up to one of those fashion things?
Oh yeah, 100%. I
And he's
loved
like,
it.
I just wanted to find the most meaningless, empty, vapid thing I could.
I did. That shit made me laugh so much, man. But I complain about these galas, but I would like to actually visit one. I would actually like to go to one.
You'd
and
like
just-
an invite?
Yeah, I would like an invite. I would like to check
Yeah.
out the different hors d'oeuvres. What's up? What's that bag they give you? A swag bag. I want to know what's inside the swag bags.
Yeah.
I want to know what's in there. For something like this, it would be like some Cristal, the most expensive piece, one of the most expensive Rolex inside these
Like
swag
a crazy
bags.
watch. Yeah, I was thinking
yeah.
there'd be a nice watch in there.
You know, the most expensive perfumes. I mean, this swag bag, you could probably sell everything in it, probably combine close to, I don't know, $100,000. Probably.
Yeah.
It's obscene, dude. It's crazy. I talked to Ron Josel, who's one of the old school like Filipino comics. He told me he did a show in Saudi Arabia or one of those Middle East countries, as one of these oil countries, and he told me
one of those countries over there.
One of these fucking
Qatar,
rich ass countries.
maybe.
Probably Qatar, probably the Emirates. I'm
United
not sure.
Arab Emirates.
Yeah, but he told me he was actually with one of the princes, and he told me like they were looking that he was laughing at a rapper driving like a Bugatti or something like that, because they laugh because certain cars, which to my thinking is like very expensive cars like Bugatti and stuff like that, like to them it's poor. And they were like just he was telling me they were laughing at that, like this is like, but like our people wouldn't do this. This is like low class, like low class cars. I'm like, that's a fucking Bugatti. What are you talking about? But there's different.
Shit,
made me realize there's different levels of fucking rich.
Shit, I mean, when I see somebody in a Jeep Wrangler, I'm like, oh, they must be all right. That's a fresh Jeep Wrangler.
That's
you got
what
there.
I said, dude. I'm like, look at that Honda.
It's a plug-in hybrid too. Oh,
dude,
man.
I'm like, look at that Honda Odyssey minivan. Look at
Yeah.
the amount of leg room in there.
Yeah, the amount of money those people have is just
It's fucking stupid.
It's monopoly money.
And like I can't even. I know I'm
like
struggling.
the thing with the Riyadh Comedy Festival. It's like I think Chappelle got offered like almost $2 million to do 2 shows.
That's crazy.
And
That's
it's like,
crazy.
how can you say no to that?
Yeah, and granted, okay, so 30 mil. Okay, so how much again? 2 million.
He got to do 2 shows.
2 million, 2 shows. Let's say
I think
each
it was
show.
1.8 or something.
Yeah, and let's say typical headline set 45 minutes. So 45 minutes, that's an hour and 30 minutes for $2 million. How much does that break down per hour? God.
Well, basically like
$1 million an hour, dude.
and a half dollars an hour.
That's fucking. That's crazy.
I mean, really, you don't have to work the rest of the year if you didn't want to.
I don't know, man. I just want to know with people that make that kind of money is like things. I think what they would do is kind of like break my reality. You know, like we have all these things that I like think of in my head, like, oh, this is what rich people should be doing, but reality is probably much worse than what I'm thinking in my head.
Well, what do you mean?
It's probably like, oh, I would think like, okay, worst extreme case, like probably human sacrifice.
Oh, to get that kind of money?
Yeah, if you had that kind of fucking money where you just like you could shit $1 million in 1 hour and still not worry, you know?
Like you're saying, there's no way your soul doesn't get corrupted.
There's no way. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine it's gonna change you if you have.
I think.
I mean, like $1 million to them is like hardly anything.
I'm telling you, dude. They just they could lose $1 million and be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, dude, I mean, the golf contracts for that Live Golf are all like the top guys, and I'm talking like probably at least like 20, 30 guys are making between $200 and $400 million in guaranteed
stupid
contracts.
Money. Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take that?
You know, and the thing with Live Golf is like, say you're like a top guy like Bryson DeChambeau or John Rahm or Dustin Johnson or Phil Mickelson, like the Brooks Koepka, those guys.
Yeah.
So their contracts were all around in that range, you know, $150 to $400 million of guaranteed money for 3 years. On top of that, at the Live Golf events, if you win a tournament, you make $4 million. And they're all on teams.
Yeah.
So the thing that's unique about Live is that there's a team competition going on at the same time as an individual competition. So your scores add up, and then whatever team scores cumulatively is the lowest.
Yeah.
They win the team competition. And that competition also gives you $4 million if your team wins.
It's like Formula One.
So in theory, if you won the individual, and even if you got second or third, you're still raking in well over a few million. So if you won an individual event and Live, any event, it's not like there's like tiers like on the PGA Tour, like when you win the Masters, for instance, or the Tour Championship, you win a lot more money than you would winning like a regular tour event. So any tour event, if you win individually, you get $4 million. And then if your team wins, you
On top of
split
that,
$4
yeah.
million amongst 4 guys.
Crazy.
So, and then you have your $200 or $300 million guaranteed contract over 3 years. And people were like giving them all this shit and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, you know, I guess there are things that like you can't do for money, and money does, I suppose, corrupt you to some degree. But also, isn't everyone striving for financial freedom? So yeah, hopefully next year we can get in that Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Bro, I'd put your name in the raffle.
we gotta grow that podcast.
Yeah, dude, we really do, bro.
Like Bad Friends went as a podcast.
Yeah.
Bobby
yeah.
and Santino went together.
That'd be amazing, actually.
Just got to get our numbers up, and
that's it, bro.
Let the Saudis know that we're
open and we're totally safe.
Yep. And I'll make jokes about whatever you want.
Yeah. Same here, bro.
Yeah. I'll if you want me to keep my mouth shut about something, I'll do that. That's fine. I don't need to be controversial.
Yeah. Well, Brett, that was the end of our little podcast here, the hour and 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. I have no shows this week. I don't know if you got any shows, if you want to plug in anything, Brett.
No, just coming off the dance tour. I was up at 2:00 in the morning East Coast time. Went to the airport at 4. My flight was at 6 into Atlanta. Then I flew from Dayton to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta to Burbank, and I've been up since then. It is now 9:40 on the West Coast. That's my level of commitment.
How tired are you?
I'm pretty delirious. I'm pretty delirious. I don't really even know what I'm saying. I hope that I completed
it's fine.
sentences and
you're completely
reasonably coherent.
Better, more articulate than me. So.
But
yeah, man.
But that's the kind of work ethic I'll be bringing to the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival next year. Just so they know.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
That's
Take
the kind
care.
of guy I am.
Peace out.
All right.